Today, we are talking about a problem that almost everyone in clinical research feels, but very few people can clearly explain or truly fix. Across the industry, enrollment delays, fragmented operations, and disconnected systems quietly add up to millions of dollars in lost time and missed opportunity. This is not because teams are careless or underperforming. It happens because no one owns the full operational picture from discovery through enrollment. Sites are working hard in their own systems, sponsors are managing multiple vendors, data is moving, but visibility is not. Every day this continues, trials absorb hidden costs that compound quickly. What we want to do in this session is name that problem clearly, show how it shows up across trials, and then walk through what changes when there is finally a single operating layer connecting sites, sponsors, and recruitment. Once that layer exists, timelines shorten, risk drops, and teams can finally move forward with confidence instead of guesswork. Theranovex was built by people who have spent years working in patient engagement, digital strategy, and healthcare technology. We have built and scaled multiple platforms in regulated environments and supported hundreds of studies in the real world. This experience shaped a simple belief. Trials do not fail because teams lack effort. They fail because the system was never designed to work as one. That belief drives everything you're about to see. Fragmentation persists because it hides in plain sight. Each team is focused on doing their part well, but no one has full visibility across the entire workflow. Sites manage feasibility, screening, and compliance in separate tools. Sponsors rely on reports that arrive late or incomplete. Recruitment vendors optimize for leads, not always for operational readiness. Each day of delay carries a significant financial impact. These costs are not just budget line items, they affect patient access, team morale, and long-term program confidence. What makes this especially challenging is that no single system feels fully responsible. Each tool reports success within its own scope, even as the trial struggles. Overall, this is why fragmentation is so dangerous. It spreads accountability so thin that problems are discovered too late. By the time issues surface, timelines have already slipped and costs have already climbed. Addressing this requires earlier visibility, shared ownership, and a clear operational picture from the start. Most teams adopt new tools with the best intentions. A tool promises better recruitment, better tracking, or better reporting. It solves a specific problem, but it often introduces new complexity. Sites still struggle to be discovered. Sponsors still struggle to compare readiness across locations. Communication breaks down as information moves between systems. Operational inefficiency increases as teams switch contexts and manually reconcile data. Over time, what started as a solution becomes another layer that needs managing. This is how tool sprawl happens, and it is why so many teams feel busy but not effective. Feasibility assessments happen in isolation, often without real performance data. This creates a gap where assumptions replace insight. Sites invest time responding to studies they will never win. Sponsors move forward with sites that look good on paper but struggle to execute. That gap is what causes delays long before the first patient is screened. Without a shared discovery process, fragmentation becomes inevitable. Everyone is working, but no one is aligned. What is missing is a way to connect site capability, sponsor needs, and recruitment reality in one place. When discovery fails, everything downstream becomes reactive. Fixing enrollment requires fixing discovery first, and that is where real operational ownership begins. Operational orphaning happens when no one owns the full workflow end to end. When ownership is fragmented, risk grows quietly. What trials need is a structure where operational responsibility is visible and shared. That shift reduces surprises, catches issues earlier, and keeps studies on track instead of constantly recovering. Trial Match was built to give discovery a clear owner. Instead of sites and sponsors operating in parallel, Trial Match connects them through a shared operating layer. Sites maintain a living profile that reflects real capabilities, experience, and readiness. Sponsors gain visibility into which sites are actually prepared to execute, not just interested. Recruitment activity connects directly to site capacity and performance. This creates alignment before enrollment begins. Everyone sees the same information updated in real time. Discovery stops being guesswork and starts becoming predictable. For sites, the current reality is exhausting. Hours are spent on feasibility work that leads nowhere. Sponsors often do not even know you exist. Recruitment and compliance live in separate systems, creating constant context switching. Burnout becomes a real risk. What sites need is not more tools, but visibility and predictability. Trial Match changes this by making sites discoverable based on real readiness, not marketing. A single profile communicates capabilities clearly. Free tools provide immediate operational relief. Recruitment aligns with your capacity instead of overwhelming it. Over time, studies start coming to you instead of you chasing them. That shift saves time, protects staff, and creates a more sustainable research program. Value begins before any commitment is made, allowing sites to experience real benefits first. From a sponsor perspective, site selection has long involved educated guessing. Even with experience, it is difficult to know which sites will truly deliver. Trial Match reduces that uncertainty. Sponsors gain access to clear readiness signals across sites before activation. Instead of relying solely on historical assumptions or incomplete data, decisions are informed by real operational indicators. This leads to faster activation and fewer surprises after launch. Centralized visibility means sponsors can see where recruitment is progressing and where support is needed. Recruitment activity is connected to site performance instead of operating separately. This allows teams to intervene earlier and manage risk proactively. The goal is not just speed, but predictability. When sponsors stop guessing and start seeing clearly, trials move forward with more confidence. One of the most time-consuming parts of trial startup is narrowing down potential sites. Trial Match dramatically shortens this step. Sponsors can search across a directory of research sites and immediately see AI-driven readiness indicators. Filtering by therapeutic area, experience, geography, and capacity becomes fast and intuitive. Instead of weeks of outreach and manual vetting, sponsors can move from search to shortlist in minutes. This does not replace due diligence. It improves it by focusing attention on the right sites from the start. For sites, this means being evaluated fairly and efficiently. For sponsors, it means momentum early in the trial life cycle. Faster shortlisting sets the tone for faster activation and more controlled execution overall. Interest alone does not predict performance. Trial Match prioritizes readiness. Each site profile is scored based on multiple operational signals, not just willingness to participate. This creates a more objective and transparent discovery process. Sites benefit because their strengths are visible without needing to oversell. Sponsors benefit because they can align expectations early. Ranking by readiness helps avoid common pitfalls, such as overcommitted sites or mismatched capabilities. It also supports better conversations during feasibility because both sides are working from the same information. This clarity reduces friction and builds trust before enrollment begins. When systems are fragmented, time is lost in small pieces that add up quickly. Sites spend hours chasing studies, screening unqualified patients, switching between systems, and fixing data issues. Trial Match reduces that friction by centralizing key workflows. When discovery, recruitment, and operations are connected, teams reclaim significant time each week. That time can be redirected toward patient care, staff development, and program growth. Over a year, the impact is substantial, both in capacity and cost savings. Importantly, staff experience improves. Burnout decreases when work feels organized and purposeful. This is not about working faster. It is about removing unnecessary work so teams can focus on what matters most. Sites often feel like they are stitching together operations from too many disconnected tools. Scheduling lives in one system, screening lives in another, compliance lives somewhere else entirely. Trial Match brings essential site tools together in one place so teams can work with less friction. Instead of managing logins and workflows across multiple platforms, sites can focus on consistent execution. And sponsors operate across a patchwork of systems that were never designed to work together. Each one solves a specific problem, but none provide a complete picture. Trial Match introduces a single operational layer that connects discovery, recruitment, and execution. This does not require ripping out existing systems. It connects them through shared visibility and consistent workflows. Teams can see what is happening across sites, recruitment channels, and enrollment progress in one place. This reduces handoffs, manual reconciliation, and delays caused by missing information. When there is one operational layer, accountability becomes clearer and decisions become easier. Instead of managing tools, teams manage outcomes. This shift is critical for reducing risk and maintaining momentum throughout the trial lifecycle. One of the most important principles behind Trial Match is immediate value. Sites should not have to wait months to see benefits. From day one, sites can access tools that help standardize workflows and reduce administrative load. These tools are designed to fit into existing site operations without major disruption. Visibility alone is not enough. What matters is what teams can do with that visibility. Trial Match turns site discovery into predictable execution by connecting readiness with real-time activity. Sponsors can see how sites are progressing. Sites can see how recruitment aligns with their capacity. Issues surface early when adjustments are easier to make. This reduces last-minute scrambling and reactive decision-making. Predictable execution leads to steadier enrollment and fewer surprises. Over time, this consistency builds confidence across teams. Trials move forward with clear expectations and stronger coordination. Predictability becomes a competitive advantage rather than a constant struggle. Sponsors are under constant pressure to deliver predictable timelines while managing uncertainty across sites and vendors. Trial Match reduces that uncertainty by improving visibility and coordination early. Centralized campaign management allows sponsors to see what is happening across all sites without waiting for delayed reports. Discovery is grounded in real readiness signals instead of assumptions. Recruitment activity is connected directly to site capacity and performance. This allows teams to identify bottlenecks early and adjust before delays escalate. Managing multiple sites and leads across disconnected systems makes it difficult to see the full picture. Theranovex simplifies this by bringing sites and leads into a single dashboard. Sponsors and teams can track progress, monitor performance, and understand where attention is needed. Sites benefit from clearer expectations and fewer manual updates. Leads are not just counted, they are contextualized within site readiness and capacity. This helps teams prioritize effectively and avoid overload. A single dashboard reduces confusion and supports better decision-making. Sponsors do not use Theranovex just to find sites. They use it as a discovery layer that supports the entire trial lifecycle. Discovery is grounded in readiness, not interest alone. Recruitment aligns with operational reality. Execution is supported by shared visibility. This creates a foundation for consistent performance across programs. Instead of treating discovery as a one-time step, it becomes an ongoing process that adapts as trials evolve. Sponsors gain confidence that site selection decisions are informed and repeatable. This reduces variability across studies and supports long-term portfolio planning. Theranovex is different because it was built as an operating layer, not a point solution. Most platforms solve one narrow problem, like recruitment or reporting, and leave teams to manage the gaps in between. Theranovex focuses on the gaps themselves. It connects discovery, recruitment, and execution so information flows naturally instead of being handed off. This reduces friction without forcing teams to change how they work overnight. The platform supports existing processes while adding structure and visibility where it is missing. That combination is what creates real change. Teams do not need to work harder or faster. They need a system that supports alignment. By focusing on ownership and connectivity, Theranovex helps effort translate into outcomes. That is what allows trials to move forward with confidence instead of constant course correction. Research sites getting started with Theranovex is intentionally simple. Sites can create a free account and begin using tools that deliver immediate operational value. There is no requirement to replace existing systems or commit to recruitment upfront. Free tools help organize workflows, improve visibility, and reduce administrative burden. For sponsors, engagement begins with a structured RFP. This keeps the process focused on real needs instead of sales conversations. Sponsors define their study requirements, timelines, and site criteria. Theranovex then applies its discovery and readiness framework to identify sites positioned to execute. This approach accelerates alignment and reduces guesswork early. Sponsors gain clarity before activation begins. Expectations are set clearly, risk is addressed proactively. An RFP-first model supports consistency across programs and helps teams move faster with confidence. Let's return to the core problem we started with. The cost of fragmentation in clinical trials is real, but it is not inevitable. It exists because discovery, recruitment, and execution are disconnected and ownership is unclear. Theranovex was built to change that by creating a shared operating layer. It replaces guesswork with visibility and alignment. For sites, this means less burnout, better use of time, and more predictable opportunities. For sponsors, it means reduced risk, steadier enrollment, and clearer control across programs. Next step depends on your role. Sites can start free and experience value immediately. Sponsors can begin with an RFP and define their needs clearly. Either way, the path forward starts with restoring ownership and removing fragmentation. Thank you for spending time with us today.